Chris, welcome to this week's tutorial. Let's draw together. In this week's tutorial, we'll be drawing a Santa Claus in Procreate, and I'm sure you can create this too if you follow along with the video all the way to the end. If you feel rushed, be sure to hit pause and just rewind to catch up and save this video to your library so you can rewatch if you need extra practice. So today we'll be using all 3 brushes found in Procreate, and don't forget, once you finish this entire video, share it on Instagram and tag me in the image as well as in the description so I can find your artwork and feature you here on the next Draw Together video. For this video, I've made you a free color palette in case you like to use the exact colors I'll be using during this tutorial, and you can just tap on the link below in the video description where you can download and install it into Procreate. Also below there you'll find a link to a goodie bag where you can find some free goodies and support me by visiting my shop there. So let's get to it and get your pen, and we're going to set up our canvas. And I'll be creating this one at 4000 by 4000 pixels, 300 dpi and sRGB. All right, so let's start this one by grabbing our sketching pencil. So I'm going to go in the sketching section and grab my 6B, that's fine. And I'm just going to use this charcoal color. And I'm, as always, start with a few shapes. So this is going to kind of be a funny Santa. It's going to be a little bit more on the triangular side. So let's start with that. His basic body shape is going to be, oh, I don't know, like that. Kind of a funny guy. And then I'm going to have a hat on him, of course. And that's going to be another triangle like that. And then his beard is going to be an inverted triangle, something like that. So quite gnome-like. I know that's kind of in right now, but it's kind of a gnome Santa. I don't know. Sort of, but not quite. And his hat's going to come around like that. Something like that, right? I don't know what that doodly is. Anyway, it goes like that. And his hat's going to have some fur here. So you can see already we're seeing Santa a little bit. So we're just going to put his nose right here. The beard, maybe he'll come like that. I don't know, some feet. Something like that. And I want to do that belt down here. Give him a big old belt buckle. And actually, I might just bring this up. So I'm going to click on this S squiggly line, being freehand and add, and just grab it with my little pointer and bring that up a bit. I forgot I need some room for the trim of his coat here. Something like that. And then that will be the trim, kind of like that. This will be all like that. And then I'm just gonna have these funny little arms. What'll be coming in like that. This little hand, maybe just like a circle and a little thumb. And we will have him kind of saying, hey, like that. Something along those lines. This little Santa is part of my new winter pack that's out right now, or will be out soon, I think, if it's not already. He was really fun to make. All right. So, alrighty, Santa's looking pretty good. Just being really loose, I think, at the beginning of your drawing is really fun and just makes your lines a little bit more interesting, not too rigid. That's why I always love to do a sketch before I do my final sketch. I don't go straight to sort of my official line work. I like just to work it out, keep it loose, make mistakes, all that kind of good stuff. Yeah, so that's looking good so far. So I'm just gonna go and add another layer on top and bump this, our rough sketch, way back down to, I don't know, 15%, something like that. And we'll start going over with our final line work. So I'm just gonna grab this brown color and I'm gonna go into inking and get my dry ink that I love to use for my line work. and just go and get some lines down. I'm just gonna keep it kind of loose and a little bit scratchy. Sorry, I'm gonna tell you exactly what line weight I'm gonna use. It is gonna be at 8%, and that's gonna be at 100 opacity. So just keeping it a little loose. I want this to be a little bit of a more sketchy drawing. Go in there. And just using the different pressure on the pen to create some interest. That's good. This actually is going to be a bell. So I'm going to just make these little lines here. That. Something like that. And I'm going to choose coat right now. I'll just zoom in a little bit for you here, just for these little wisps, just kind of for the furry, just keep it light. And we'll give them a hand, a little thumb, just a thumb and a round bit like that, more of a he. Okay, and then bringing this arm in, little bits for the fur. Kind of round in a circle here. Looks pretty good. And get that belt. I'm gonna make it just so it kind of looks like it's coming around there like that. It's not a completely flat line. You can see that little bit there. Makes it look a little bit more rounded. And then for belts, you're always going to have this tab that comes over, and then a rounded circle that goes into, and the big belt buckle. Something like that. All right, oops. And around. Okay. So I'm gonna give him his little shoes, little platform to his shoes, and they're gonna be kind of, I don't know, rectangular a little bit. A rounded rectangle. Good. And then we're just gonna do, this is gonna all be fluffy. So I'm gonna try to keep it irregular, a little bit rounded. Kind of like that. Hopefully you can see that. Okay, let's get his nose here. There. And these little whiskers are going, whoops, not exactly how I wanted it. Okay, so these little wispies, his nose is going to be kind of covering them a little bit. Actually, I want to make this a little bit thicker. Just wispy, wispy. I want these a bit rounder too. Okay, his little hat, and his beard is just gonna come actually, this guy I made to have a little bit of a curl. But you don't want it to touch, and I've gone too low. So it's gonna come up like that. There. Whoops. A few thinner dashes just with using a lighter pressure on my pen just to do that. Not quite as thick of a stroke. This little variation makes it look better, I think. Okay, a little mess there. And then his little face, so his beard is gonna just come from here. I don't want it too wispy, just like that. And his little eyes are going to be in here. Oops. Let's make them closer. Ah, my circles are not working out here. There we go. Better. And his little mouth is just going to be light pressure and push. Like that. There he is. So now I can just turn off that layer below and just erase that mistake. And then we are ready to do some more details. So with the line work, I'm actually going to go and find the hairbrush, and it is somewhere around here in touch-ups. And I'm just going to use the fine hair and see how that goes. Just to do, yeah. So I'm going to have it at, let's see, it is at 10%. Let me just try the short hair too. No, I don't like that. Okay, I like the fine hair. And I'm just going to give them just some edges here. Just edges to the fur, and just a few little swipes. It's just gonna give us a little shading actually, and just a little line work. So keep it irregular, but with the flow of where the hairs would go. Just giving us a little bit more texture on this. And I'm gonna do it a little bit over here, just sort of get the sort of the direction of where the beard's going a little bit. And I'm going to throw some in here too, just little, again I want this to be more of a textured piece. Have fun with that. These bits too. Oops, sorry about that. Just makes it look a little fluffy. Oh, and I've realized I've forgotten one bit of his outfit here. One very Santa-esque outfit, and that's the fluff that comes down the front here that we need to add. Okay, so I'm going to just go back to my inking with that dry brush and just add this bit. So we have a bit of a line here, and then you're going to have the rest of his little suit here. Right, he always has that bit. So I will go back to, what did I say it was in touch-ups? Fine hair, and just add these little bits here. Okay, so then I'm just going to go back and grab my inking brush, the dry brush, and just add the rest of this detail. So I'm going to erase this line here and, goodness, add the belt and here like that. So that would end there. Okay, that finishes that up. Okay, I don't think we're missing anything else. So I'm just going to go in and delete my sketch layer. We really don't need that anymore. Create a new layer and pop that underneath our line layer. And I'm going to fill in all the sections in solid fill first, and then I'll show you how I'm going to paint them. So I'm just going to go grab the red. At this point, it actually really doesn't matter which color, but we'll go with the red. And I'm going to grab my studio pen and just go around filling this in. And then I'm just gonna drag my color and fill that guy in there. Okay, and then I'm gonna go and create another layer and fill that in with the skin color. So that will just be his face here. And then on this layer, I'm gonna just do the yellow as well. So, because they're not gonna be touching. So that's all right. Okay, and then in the layer below, just gonna add another one and use that charcoal and do his gloves and belt and shoes. Okay, so there we have our basic, oops, missed a mitten, almost had it. There we go. Okay, so there we have our basic Santa color, and you know, that's fine. We can do this, but I would prefer to make it more painted and a little bit more interesting. So I'm going to go in and fill, instead of having these colors, I'm going to actually fill them all with white, and then I'm going to paint over top and use that kind of as a solid fill, so that if we're doing PNGs, that they're all solid where we've painted, as well as I can just paint within these lines by using clipping masks. So I'm going to start with the Santa, and I can just go ahead with the white and drag and drop the white in there, and same with the black layer. Do that. Or you can just use a clipping mask, it would be quicker. Or like, just like this. So you add another layer on top, click it, clipping mask. And then just dragging it in there, and then you just can merge down. So that's two ways to do it. So now it looks like we're back near at the beginning again, but don't worry, we're gonna have some fun. So click on your layer 2 where you have Santa's main coat, like the red color, hit plus, click on your layer 5 and hit clipping mask. Let's grab that lighter red color and go find some interesting paint brushes to paint with. So I'm going to start with the Spectra brush, and I'm going to, it looks like this. I'm going to bump this up to maybe about 30% and just lightly wash. And I'm going to go over again. I just want it to look textury, and you can see these nice textures here. Just lightly. So if I push hard, of course it's going to be like that. And if I go like really lightly, it just adds a little bit more to it. Okay, so I'm going to leave it like that. And then I'm going to go, actually I'm going to keep on this red, and let's try another brush. Let's do the stucco. And just, it's gonna be at, let's go with 30% with this as well. Just lightly go over him like this. Lots and lots of texture. Okay, and then I'm gonna go grab that darker red and go get the fresco. Let's see what this does. Perfect. Okay, so I'm gonna be at 30% again. Just lightly getting some sort of that painted bits on it here too. All right. Just little circles and maybe a few splotches. Good stuff. Okay, so that's looking good. I'm gonna go and add another layer on top of that and also make that a clipping mask. So these two will be paired to the one below. I'm gonna grab that yellow and use our gouache and just give a little subtle color, just really lightly, just to this side, just to the edges a little bit, not too much. Don't go crazy. Just a little interest. Here, I don't know if you can see it or not, but here, I'll show you. So that's it, out, with, without, with. Just warms it up a little bit. And then I'm gonna go grab the blue, do the opposite on this side. Just giving it a little bit of a cooler tone. My gouache is, well, actually my gouache can be about 25, but it'd be a little bit easier. There we go. Okay, and then I'm just gonna go above the red layer and add another layer and get that dark red again. Continue with my gouache. Bring that down to about 10 and just focus on some of these shadows here. So just where there would be some, making him look a little bit more rounded. Maybe a little bit under the beard. Under this hat here, maybe bring that down to maybe about 5 just to get these fold bits here. Back up to 10. I think it made it ended up on 12. It's all right. Just trying to give this so it's not too flat. Good stuff. Okay, so then I'm going to go to the belts, like the black layer, so what the belts and the shoes and the little mitts, add a layer on top of that, click on that clipping mask and go in and grab that charcoal and stay with my gouache for a minute here and just get that belt going. Just layering. And I'm gonna grab maybe that, let's do the fresco, bring it back to about 10%, well that wasn't 10%, 10%. Just getting that in there. Different textures on here. You can see they just have a little bit more interest than just flat colors. Okay, and then we'll do the yellow layer. So I'm going to click on that, layer 3, add the plus, click on it again, and clipping mask, and go and grab that warm orange. We can stick with the fresco, that's fine for now. And as I layer it, it gets darker. Just nice. And fill that in. Good. Okay, so I'm also going to, while we're on this layer, do that skin color. And I'm going to grab the gouache and just color in his little face here. So I'm going to pick up that lighter red color and just really lightly just give him a little bit of warmth on his nose. Actually, I'm going to make this a little bit smaller, maybe about 5. Just a little warmth on his nose. Maybe give him a little color in his cheeks. There. That's good. Okay, we're getting there. While we're here, I can go to the very top, above at the very top layer, just add the plus sign. I'm going to add some highlights. So grab the white, and I'm going to go back and get my the dry ink brush. Just do a few highlights here. On there. I want on his nose. And I'm going to get the smudge tool, and I can just leave it on. I can have it on fine charcoal or even just the soft brush for the airbrush. Have it to about 2% and 80% opacity. And just blend that just a little bit. Just not quite so hard there. Okay. Grab the white again and just give it a little highlight on here. Maybe it'd be on the top a little bit. Little shoes have a little something. I don't know if the top of his belt leather might pick it up a little bit. So we're going to take our blender again and just blend that just a little bit. There. Okay. You know what? I know this is cloth, but I'm just going to put a little bit up here too. And just give that a bit of a better blend. There. Okay, so then I'm going to grab the blue color and grab, let's see, I'm going to go back to the painting and get let's do the stucco, I think. Let's do stucco. Go back to the layers, and I'm going to go, what layer am I going to do? Actually, it doesn't matter. We can stay on this highlight layer for this. So I'm just going to do a little bit. I'm going to bring this down to about 8%, and just where, bring this down to about 60%, and just add a little bit in where, just really lightly, just to add to where all the white is. Just to add a bit of shadow, show that it has texture there. You can do that along the beard. Just really like it. I'm not pushing hard. Just really lightly. Kind of circles again. Maybe a little bit along here too. Just feathery. Gives it a little bit more dimension. All right, he's looking good. Okay, what often I like to do is just go back to my line layer and go grab that brown again and the inking on the dry ink. Just really sometimes bump up a few bits and pieces. Just get in some, make sure the lines are the way I want them to be. Give a few bit of shading lines. Not like that. I want my outline to be fairly strong. A little bit of shading along here. Just a little bit sketchier in some places. Good. And I really want this to pop out in front. Okay, oh, and last, I'm going to back to my highlights layer. Forgot the last little highlight. Let's just give them a little dot on these eyes here. And there we go. I think he's done for today. So I hope you've enjoyed this tutorial, and if you did, please hit that like button and subscribe, and don't forget to hit the bell icon so you can be notified of new tutorials just like this one. Every week I post every single Tuesday. So thank you so much for watching. I love you guys, and I'll see you in the next one.